So here you will find, so this book is now ready, it's all getting into the market, you'll find it very soon everywhere. But after the launch, it's been just 3 days. So the launch was grand, and thanks, it was in Bombay Stock Exchange, 700 plus people, high profile people. But once the dust settled down of the glory of the launch, the key question for every author is, tell me, how was the book actually? Because the content has to be equally good. And 3-4 examples that we got is that, it's a very readable book. You can finish it in one go. Now you have to decide that. It's all the feedbacks that we got. The reason is that here you can actually visualize a lot of things, and you'll be surprised that you actually start looking at policing from a different angle altogether. Because typically the police angle is either the Havaldar on the road, with a lot of female Havaldars now coming, constables coming in, and thanks, that's also a contribution from Sir. If you see the Mumbai roads, you will find that there are all these army tanker-like vehicles of the Mumbai police. That's also Sir's introduction. All this comes in the book also. But what interestingly happens is that when you look at policing, it's always looked at from very different perspectives. But not many people look at policing from the angle of leadership. So imagine 2.25 like policemen and women. There's leadership with them. Unfortunately, they're all in a different strategic level, which is not mostly spoken about. So as a leadership teacher, reader, academician, researcher, I said, let's talk about a different leadership, because when we talk about leadership, especially in the academic field, it's all about corporate leadership, business leadership. Nothing wrong in that. So we have Ratan Tata and Kumar Mangalam Birla. Of course, they are also there. But what about that safe city that we all live in? There's some leadership behind that. So that's about the book. So just to
leader here.
Absolutely, there's another leader there. Absolutely.
Would you come and take my place? I'm very happy to swap. Come. Save me. Not me, you. So nobody can take your place. So
Okay, so I will like to maybe just wind up with one line about the back end which I spoke about. There were a lot of hard work. It took 2.5 years. A lot of editorial teamwork. So we have one representative Purnima here, and the whole group, right from Sharma ji to Sandhya and Pragna. So a lot of hard work and Lakshmi. But what is important is that at the end of it, when we look at this book, we find like the parents looking at the baby, and therefore the most beautiful expression I've ever read about a mother, I like to actually repeat here and then hand it over to Sir. So a mother, when she delivered a baby, she said, "A part of me got separated. A part of me got separated, yet made me complete." So here it's a complete baby for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Radha. You have enlightened the audience. He mentioned about, before I forget, book and all he will speak, before I forget, he said managing 2 lakh policemen. That is not part of the book. Managing the safety and security of 12 crores of Maharashtra people, that is the management. Managing police, you can manage. Vittal Kamath can manage police much better than anybody. Give them idlis and coffee, they are very happy, they are all managed. But that is not about this book. In this book, what is all about? It is about safeguarding. I'm sure in 98, 99, Farzana also knows very well that that was dangerous. The city became a Beirut. So lights were switched off, marriages were not taking place, cars were not purchased, and people were getting shot by the day. On 18/10/98, 3 people were shot. That was Diwali day, morning, afternoon and evening, 3 people were shot separately in 3 separate places. Very big industrialists, hoteliers. I'm sure Vittal Kamath would know the names of all. Ramesh Payade and so many others, hoteliers have been shot dead. So it is not managing the police. If you think that it is a police book, it is not. It is about management. I hope you agree with me.
Yes.
It is not managing the police. Managing the police, anybody can manage it. They're all very obedient guys, for your information. The policemen are the most obedient guys. Neither they have trade union rights, nor they have agitational rights, not like the chief minister goes and start for a hunger strike. Do you think a policeman can go and sit on a hunger strike in front of his office? No chance at all. So the point is, this book is about managing matters which are impossible to manage. That is one you should all know. And then all the factors, the resources, the changing scenario, the environment, everything changes by the minute. The minute people come for agitating on the road, like two days before you saw the AAP agitating against the Delhi police and asking them to go on leave, the things change completely. Somebody can fire a gun, somebody can explode a bomb, and somebody can assault a woman. The whole thing takes a different turn. All those factors are not under the control of the policemen. So when so many things are going, so for example, famine we manage, flood we manage, like 2005, July 25, that is the right date, no? When Mumbai was flooded, 900 millimeters of water, that is a disaster management. So neither you expected it, nor you are ready, nor you are prepared, or for that matter, 26/11, 2008. I don't think anyone, whoever was in power at the time, did not anticipate it, and they were not ready, and what all happened is very well known to you. Now, under such circumstances, you go there and manage and come out as a winner and save lives and give them protection and come out with credibility and good name and honor and get out of the service without getting prosecuted or not getting into the jail instead of managing the jail is the management all about. So if somebody believes that managing the police is a book and all that, no. Police is managing themselves very well. They manage their own things very well. We are managing the safety and security, the integrity of the country, sovereignty of the country, the internal security of the country. That is what is being managed by the police. So that way, I think this one. Other point, leave that point. Other thing is, policemen can always tell lots of stories. There are plenty of stories we can tell about so many things. So this is again not about that story. This is a completely management-oriented book, and definitely not necessary that I read Chanakya and I followed Chanakya I never knew who this Chanakya all about, but I did a good job of it. But as a part of the job, since I worked in the IB for 6 years, Mr. S.K. Bapat is much more Chanakya than anybody else. I hope you agree, no? Then he will teach you 100 things which Chanakya did not know. So we learned from them. And then also, as a professor, I read Prince by Machiavelli and Attila the Hun. That is another great book I have read. Also, Thirukural, my own Thirukural, that is 2000 years before, written by Thiruvalluvar. They also say the same statecraft. So you read all those things, not necessary that all that would help you when people are throwing stones at you and then you are getting hurt and then your policemen are getting killed and all that kind of a thing. All this theory of Chanakya and all that doesn't come. Something else has to be exercised or practiced and things like that. So we have done. That way, if you see, we can tell you a lot of crime that evening, you're full of that sunsani and then crime patrol and dastak and all. What is it all about? It's all about policemen's work only. So that way, storytelling is fantastic. Any policeman can tell a story. This is not the story of police as to how I detected that case or how I did this case, how that case ended in conviction. It is not that. It is about managing the affairs of the state where there are not enough resources, where there are lots of challenges, where things are not going well. When the courts are against you, when the press is against you, when the public is against you, when the opinion goes totally against you, how do you change with the same given resources? The police force is the same, the people are the same, and all. You do a complete turnaround. How do you do that? Whether it is Chanakya, or it is Machiavelli, or it is Thiruvalluvar, or it is anybody else, or it's a combination of all. That is what you are put to test. And then you come out successfully, and then you start telling how you managed it. So this is a book on management. Managing people, managing resources, managing a force, and managing even the government. Managing this government, do you think it's so easy? You're managing the Aam Aadmi Party Chief Minister. It must be the biggest task for the Delhi police force. Because the problem is Delhi police is not reporting to him, he is not reporting to anybody. So like that, all these things are a very, very kaleidoscopical kind of a thing. Our life is a very, very colorful life. It's a roller coaster ride, I told you. So I was additional CP crime here in 93-95, and then I went to Naxalite area for 3 years, and every foot you find a landmine there. On every hilltop there can be AK-47 firing from the Naxalites. So life changes completely. then come to urban area, rural area and things like that. So life is a roller coaster ride. When you do all that and come out, then you can talk about management, and then you can go back to lecturership, and then you can start delivering lectures. People do believe when you deliver a lecture and because you are there, you are there to tell the story. So that is how this book has come out. And this book came out, as he rightly said, because I was delivering a lecture in a leadership development program in Wellington College of Management. That's where he had come and he heard, and then he wrote the book, and I been giving my name to him, as I say always. This is my pet line. So I never wanted to write a book. I never kept notes because, we have taken an oath when you joined the IPS that I will never reveal the secrets of the government and this and that and all. So there is nothing like that in this that so-and-so asked me to do it, I didn't do it, and he was illegal. And, you've seen this in the recent TV, someone telling me that was illegal, that was, then what have we been doing about it? So this kind of a thing is purely on management, and this is not only related to police. It can be read by anybody. It can be read by anybody who is a common man, and definitely he can interpolate it to his own personal life and manage. And I have been listening to all these lectures by Robin Sharma or Peter Drucker or man who read The Third Wave. What's his name? He and his wife, Heidi. Wife's name, I remember not the husband's name. The man who wrote The Third Wave. So, Alvin Toffler, yes ma'am. Alvin Toffler, and Heidi is his wife. So, full day lectures I've heard. People used to wonder, what is the policeman doing in all these things? I used to say, even though they're all talking about how to do a turnaround in corporate affair, even we are doing the same thing. We are managing men, we are managing various other things. So definitely it can be interpreted in a way you can go there and practice it. So that is how one learns it. In that way, this is a general management book, and Chanakya and the government, and in the government I happen to be a policeman. So that way it is not a purely police book, and not about managing police, it is managing the others that way. Sure. So I hope that is well cleared properly.
So what we're going to do as an author and a part of the book festival that we are, I'm going to read a small paragraph or maybe a page or two just to give an insight of what the book is about. And we had a lady who actually asked, when you're talking, just describe the 7 secrets. So secrets are anyway out. So I'm going to read the 2 pages and we'll leave the floor open for discussion. So let me talk about, this is right in the preface. So sir has already told, so I'm just going to read a line. I hope it's as readable as it is listenable, so you can listen to it also. A lot of audiobooks coming out. We're going to have that one soon. Policing is a very dynamic activity. It is round-the-clock work. Therefore, police leadership requires many more skills than other types of leadership. On one hand, the police works on eliminating the underworld dawn. On the other, it also helps a lost child reach home. It's about making women feel safe and senior citizens also safe at home. It is also about stopping a crazy youth from speeding on his motorbike. It is also about allowing an adult boy and girl to exercise their legal right to choose their marriage partner despite their parents' opposition. Yet, our society does not give due respect to the role of the police. This is not to say that all policemen are perfect. There is corruption in the system. Some policemen are no better than criminals in uniform. However, not all policemen are corrupt or criminals. Policing is an essential part of our society, and without it, a society will collapse. The challenges faced by the police are unimaginable. When the country celebrates festivals like Diwali, Ganesh Chaturthi, Durga Puja, Independence Day, Eid or Christmas, the police has no holidays. The duty of a policeman is 24 hours, and he has to report to work for 12 hours a day. They have no family lives to speak of. A policeman's wife lives with the worry of her husband becoming the target of a criminal's bullet. It is difficult to find suitable bridegrooms for a policeman's daughter. What's more, boys in police uniform are not considered ideal matches for prospective marriages. There are no unions to fight for the policemen's rights. They get much lower salaries than their counterparts in the corporate world. In fact, most senior police officers are intelligent and sharp enough to have been CEOs of multinational companies had they taken that route. The media is constantly at their heels for breaking news. Policemen also go through tremendous stress due to constant political pressures. Consider this. Mumbai has a population of over 2 crore and the number of policemen and women is 42,000. That was when we initially started writing. Now it's more. Half of them work in the day and the other half during the night, since they have 12-hour work days. Thus, approximately 20,000 police persons protect 2 crore people, which makes around 1,000 people to be protected by each policeman. That is similar to one salesperson taking care of 1,000 sales accounts. How would you compare stress in the corporate world to a police job? Also, a policeman has to deal with anybody and everybody. A film star, an illegal migrant, a lunatic or a drunkard on the street, a young student attempting suicide, traffic accidents, passion-driven crimes, extortion calls. Each policeman constantly deals with the unknown. The police force is constantly faced with lack of resources and manpower. Yet, their target is to establish peace in society. When they have achieved the target, that is peace, no one thinks about them. When the crime rate is high, they are blamed. The presence of the police is not felt, but their absence is. Because of all these reasons, policing is often called a thankless job. Yet, in the same system and society, what brings hope of a better future is good leadership in the policing force. In this whole mess, there emerges a leader who inspires everybody from top to bottom. Someone who disciplines them like a father and cares for them like a mother. This book is about those police officers who have time and again infused hope in lakhs of men and women in uniform and take a pride in the uniform that they wear. The happiness they get when they look back at their careers and say, yes, we took the right decision to join the force, come from the efforts of such leaders. Such leaders install a sense of achievement in policemen, making them feel they have contributed to the society and helped in nation building. D. Sivanandan is a case study throughout the book. Yet, this book is about the police force which stood strong with the leader. It is about many other leaders before him who displayed leadership in different forms. This book is written for future police leaders as a document for reference and for the young men and women who can believe in themselves and say, I too can be like Sivanandan and turn the tide. And they say, leadership is to succeed in spite of, not because of. This book is also for a common man like you and me. Next time, when you see a policeman or woman doing his job in the hot afternoon sun, instead of feeling angry and labeling him as a corrupt, inefficient person, we could empathize with them and say, thank you, sir, for what you do. I know my wife and children are safe at home. So, before I open up, the last question the lady had asked, what is this Chanakya 7 secrets? So here it is for you. The concept of an ideal nation in the Arthashastra called Saptanga holds these 7 pillars of a kingdom. Swami Amatya Janapada Durga Kosha Dandamitra. For centuries, Indian rulers have used this concept as a model of successful government. In this path-making book, the 7 secrets of leadership is the Saptanga, where Radhakrishan Pillai delves into the Saptanga with a real-life example of Sivanandan. So here is the Saptanga model and how he fits in. Here is a policeman who has done it. Questions to all of you. Thank you.
I saw a movie called Singham, and it raised great hopes amongst the people that there could be an idealistic police officer like him. And it raised great hopes amongst the people that there could be an idealistic police officer like him. How close do you come to this idealistic police officer?
I want to say nowhere near Singham I have ever been that. Because I have also seen that Singham many times. So that Singham is a fantastic entertainer. But what all he does or what all others do is absolutely illegal. There is nothing a police officer of that type can ever do. Well, I mean, leave doing all other things like other things apart. His shirt button and the uniform is never at all. He goes to the DG and gives him a lecture when there is a dinner, saying that blah 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 and all that. All that can be never done. A sub-inspector of Singham Sub-Inspector Singham cannot go and see the DG at all. And delivering a lecture, and everyone salutes this Singham when he is getting out of a parade after delivering a lecture to the DG, and the DG also salutes. All that is just not possible. There is all. Singham is a fantastic entertainer. As long as you want to get entertained, please go there and see. Being an ideal police officer is one who will follow law, the rule of law. Who will follow law, and he will not deviate from the law, but yet be very effective. There is an honest officer who will also take risk. Then he is one who equally keeps distance from all the political parties, keep them all at equidistant, and still be appreciated by all of them. And then gives a sense of hope, sense of relief, and gives the necessary protection to the people, because where these people moneyed and the gundas go and hammer people who can't protect themselves, there you go there and give them enough support so that they can become equal, and the level playing field is given by a police officer. And if the police officer does anything like Singham, if any misguided police officer follows a Singham, the next day he will land up in the jail and he will be languishing for years. All of you should know that in the government, when you get prosecuted, the government doesn't spend a pie on giving you a lawyer. I hope you know that. If a private case is registered against me for doing my job, the government doesn't protect. You have to either, many police officers, hundreds of police officers are in jail. Someone should write a story about them, saying that how come they landed up and how many years they are there. Example is in Gujarat, even in Maharashtra, a lot of police officers, in the Kaja Yunus case, or in so many other Telgi case and all, 17, 18 police officers in all these cases have been behind jail. Vanjara is there in Taloja jail. So like that, Singham would find himself in a cage. So that way it's a fantastic movie. Ideal police officer, I'm answering your question very, very seriously. An ideal police officer is one who knows his law, who knows his politicians, who knows the constitution. He doesn't go beyond the constitution, and he doesn't take his job to be that of a Robin Hood. You can't be a Robin Hood inside the police force. And then he does his job, as Bhagavad Gita would say, that I will do the best, and whatever is the result, here it is. In any job, wherever I worked, Mr. Kerkar also is here, and I worked in the Thane Police Commissionerate for 3.5 years. He is a resident of Thane, so I had the job of protecting him and various others. So that way, you have to be absolutely within the four corners of law and do your job. Beyond that, you can do one more thing, that is looking after your men, empowering the policemen who are not taken care of. Like he said, in the sun, if he stands, what can we do about it? Or otherwise, giving them a shelter, a house, school, medical facilities, and various other things. If we empower them, definitely we take them out of the slums where they are living. 55% of the men are living in slums in Mumbai. If you bring them out and give them a role model and empower them, definitely they will all become Singham. Instead of having one Singham, we should have Singham, everybody should be a Singham, but within the four corners of law. I hope this answer satisfies you.
One question I have is, I am told that a constable who joins at the age of 20-21 retires as a constable after 35 years of service. Second, the government has formed so many police reform commissions, and why they are not implementing it, what is the way forward? How do we make the life and the remuneration of police constables better, and then he is on par with other security agencies?
Yeah, the first question is about the constable 21. Actually, the recruitment of a constable and others goes up to 28 plus the 5 years more. So these guys with the metric pass or metric fail or whatever it is, they join up to the age of 33. Can you believe that? Already they are married, they produce children, they have done their political activities or the affiliation and all that. Then to mold them to come into police life, then give them a sense of honor and pride and of uniform, nation and all, that is an impossible task. So my answer to you is that salary is much low, but the power is much more. So that is why, even in my UPSC interview, which I attended only once, they asked me the same thing. I was a professor. They asked me the same question, saying that Sivanandan, in this police force, the salary is so low, but the powers are unlimited. Then what do you think about corruption and this and all? I never knew. I was a professor trying to teach economics. I don't know what I said, and I landed in the police, you know. So, so that is how it was. But serious answer to your question is, we should recruit them at the young age of 18 or 21, and they should be all graduates. All of them should be graduates. They should be paid as graduate constables, and then they should be allowed to grow as per the merit. If he doesn't, if he lacks in merit, he should retire as a constable, even much worse, below minus constable also he should become. But if he is meritorious, then he should grow up to be the commissioner of police. That is the London Bobby system. London police system is that. The commissioner of police, London, is called the chief constable. This Lord Sir Blair and later Lord Blair was a constable. He was a patrolman. He was patrolling the streets of London. So that is, whereas here in our country, because of the British, that white man became the collector, and then the lesser captain became the policeman, the superintendent of police. That's why he is called Kaptan. Even now in UP, he is called Kaptan. No, Kaptan sahib bolte hain, SP ko. So then now they brought the system that constables is one recruitment, and then sub-inspectors is another recruitment, and deputy superintendents of police of the state, local people, that is another, and the fourth one is the Indian police service. So these guys get confined to those silos. A constable joins and works for 35-40 years and becomes only a head constable or an ASI. But there are some people who cross that levels, but then only one in let us say 10,000 people. But the others by and large become a head constable and a ASI. And many of them get suspended, removed, and promoted downwards. All that happens at the whims and fancies of the lords and masters who are ruling our country. So that is a pity. I fully agree with you. And the second question you asked about is reforms. Mr. Kumar Ketkar can speak about reforms much more authentically than I do. These reforms are being resisted by the government because the political class does not want a police force which is completely liberated from them. And unless policemen are in their clutches, in their control, looking at their mercy of getting a police station or a tenure or a lucrative posting and all that kind of a thing, the transfer power is kept. Transfer or even recruitment power through MPSC is kept with them. They may be lacking all that shine and glamour of being in politics. Then why are they in the politics? If a political master has to be seen with 4 black cat commandos surrounding and going marching imperially, he is the one who has reached actually, you know, he has arrived. So that is the kind of a reforms we are not able to do. The police reforms repeatedly have been subject of various commissions. The last biggest reforms commission was that 1977, but that government was different. At emergency time, if you all remember, Dharmavir was the chief of that commission. A monumental study was done. But then the next government came, put it in the cold storage. Even today it is there. Now, Mr. Prakash Singh has filed that case in the Supreme Court, and only 6 pointers are given by the Supreme Court, and these governments are not implementing them. That is the problem. DGP and others should have a tenure of 2 years. It's not happening. And then the transfers have to be done by an establishment board. It is not happening. And then against policemen, there has to be an inquiry mechanism. That's not happening. So like this, the police reform. Ultimately, police force has to be liberated from all this. Even CBI, you have been reading about so much about the caged parrot. You have been reading about it, but I don't think either the Lokpal bill or any bill, anything will ever give CBI the much needed autonomy. You know, you talk about various disproportionate asset cases of people, it goes up and down, all that. Now, you know what I'm talking about, whose disproportionate asset cases I'm talking about. I don't have to name them. It goes as per their political support of the ruling government. So that is how the caged parrot has never been let off from the cage. So that is about reforms. If reforms come, police would definitely. But when the reforms come, police should also be refined to be understanding what is that power which is given to them. And for that, you have to have a separate class of police. The class of police which we have now, the colonial legacy which we have got, khaki uniform and the other things which have come, they may not be able to fit into the police reforms which we are all envisaging. So we have to have a new class of policemen who know what is the citizen's right. and you know what is the various other things which are needed, then only we can have police reforms. And we are for police reforms. I am for police reforms. We've been fighting for it, but unsuccessfully.